Have you ever noticed that recently your children and grandchildren hug you less than before, that the bedroom window is often opened right after you enter, or that the eyes of your loved ones sometimes carry a hint of hesitation? You still bathe every day, still wear clean clothes, even use light perfume, yet somehow something seems to be creating a growing distance in the family and you can't quite put your finger on it. I am Dr. Samuel Grant, a senior health specialist with over 30 years of experience in elderly care centers across the country. Throughout my career, I've met many patients, not lacking in hygiene awareness or self-care, but still feeling distanced within their very own homes. And surprisingly, the reason lies in a very specific biological reaction that begins after age 60. It's when the body starts to produce a compound called nonenal, an oxidized fatty acid that lies deep in the skin's sebaceous glands. This compound is the main cause of old people's smell, a scent that others can clearly sense, even though we ourselves are completely unaware of it. The notable thing is that nonenal cannot be washed away with regular soap or water, and most elderly individuals, even those who are clean, do not know they are unintentionally carrying that scent every day. Fortunately, you don't need to change too much to improve this. In today's video, I will guide you on how to properly clean three key areas on your body, places that account for up to 90% of the source of elderly body odor, yet are often overlooked or improperly cleaned. And with just 3 minutes a day, you will clearly feel the difference, not only in your body, but also in the eyes and gestures of your loved ones around you. I hope you'll stay until the end of the video, because I'll also share a simple tip using ginger, lemon, and a natural ingredient that will help your body emit a light natural fragrance, like lemongrass without perfume and without using any expensive products. This is a gift I believe you'll want to keep just for yourself. Before we begin, I'd love to get to know you. Which city or province are you watching this video from? Please leave a comment below. I deeply appreciate every companion on the journey to living healthier and staying closer to loved ones each day. And if you enjoy gentle, easy to apply, and valuable insights like these, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the upcoming content. Now let's find out, why is just bathing not enough to eliminate elderly body odor? The answer may surprise you. Part 1. What causes the distinct body odor in older adults? Have you ever wondered why, even though you maintain good personal hygiene every day, bathing thoroughly, wearing clean clothes, keeping your bed tidy, there's still something in the air at home that seems to make your loved ones feel distant? Your children or grandchildren sit farther away, the windows in your room are often kept open, or there are glances that carry hesitation, and you can't quite explain why. As someone who has accompanied many patients over 60 years old for more than 3 decades, I understand that feeling deeply. And I want to share something that hardly anyone says directly, but everyone should know. After the age of 60, our bodies begin to secrete a natural substance called nonenal. This is a type of oxidized fatty acid that lies deep in the oil glands under the skin. It's not a smell caused by dirt, but rather a part of the aging process. What's notable is that the person who has the odor often doesn't notice it themselves, because our sense of smell also gradually declines with age. Meanwhile, people around us, especially our children and grandchildren, can sense it very clearly, but usually remain silent out of love or sensitivity. Unfortunately, that silence unintentionally creates a quiet distance. Many older adults try using perfume to cover up this scent. But the truth is, perfume cannot neutralize nonenal because it lies deep in the sebaceous glands, not on the surface of the skin. No matter how thoroughly you bathe, if you only use water and regular soap, the smell still lingers. I've met many elderly men and women who are very meticulous about personal hygiene, yet still quietly wonder why their grandchild no longer wants to sit in their lap like before. And when they understood the cause, no one felt ashamed. On the contrary, they felt relieved because finally there was an explanation for something that had silently saddened them for so long. After following the correct guidance, just some very small changes in daily routines, many people have told me with a very different smile that their grandchild hugged them again, played with their hair, and sat beside them as if the distance had never existed. And if you want to start making a change, the first step is to correctly identify the areas on the body where nonenal odor tends to accumulate most, places we often overlook even when we think we've cleaned ourselves thoroughly. In the next part, I will guide you on how to properly clean these areas, and the wonderful thing is you only need less than 3 minutes a day. Dear friend, If you're still accompanying me up to this point, I truly appreciate it. Please leave the number 1 in the comments below to let me know that we are walking together on this journey of understanding and gently caring for our bodies. Part 2. 3 commonly overlooked body areas, and they are the main source of elderly odor. Many people after the age of 60 still maintain the habit of bathing regularly, using warm water, gentle soap, even combining with fragrant lives or essential oils. However, there's one thing I often have to repeat to my patients. Even if you bathe every day, if you don't clean the right areas properly, body odor can silently return, and you might not even realize it. There are 3 areas on the body that are often neglected, yet they are exactly where bacteria, oil, and sweat accumulate the most, especially in older adults. 1. Folded and less ventilated skin areas. Areas such as the back of the neck, underarms, around the navel, beneath the breasts, groin, elbows, and the back of the knees. These are places that easily become moist, enclosed, and often overlooked when cleaning. These are hot spots ideal for bacteria to grow if not properly cleaned. I once treated a 66-year-old female patient. After she began gently cleaning the fold under her breast daily with a soft towel, she emotionally shared. For the first time in years, my grandchild hugged me without avoiding a strange smell. 2 hair-covered areas, especially the scalp and chest. As we age, the oil glands still function, but the skin's ability to eliminate waste decreases. If the hair isn't washed thoroughly and the scalp isn't properly massaged, excess oil and bacteria will accumulate, creating odors and clinging to pillows, blankets, and towels. A 70-year-old man once shared with me, only after he switched to regularly shampooing, drying the roots of his hair, and using a separate towel for his chest area, the whole family said he smelled fresh and clean. 3. Feet, the area that easily smells but is often poorly cared for. Most elderly people just rinse their feet briefly under running water, but don't pay attention to drying between the toes or changing socks regularly. Meanwhile, just a bit of moisture left behind can cause odor to spread in enclosed spaces. A typical case was a man over 65, simply by switching to cotton socks daily and thoroughly drying his feet after bathing, his bedroom became noticeably fresher and more pleasant. In addition to the 3 areas above, there is one spot that is almost always overlooked, the middle of the back. Because it's hard to reach, many elderly people don't clean this area thoroughly. However, it's a place that comes into direct contact with clothing, chair backs, and bedding, and if not cleaned, it can silently retain unpleasant smells. I often advise elderly people to use bathwater around 38-40 degrees C, use a soft towel or a long-handled back brush to reach the back, and choose fragrance-free soap. After bathing, apply a thin layer of coconut oil or unscented lotion to keep the skin soft and prevent dryness, which creates favorable conditions for bacteria to grow. However, that's just the outside. For the body to truly smell pleasant naturally, we need to start from the inside, where body odor is actually produced each day. In the next part, I'll share with you 3 internal detox habits. Easy to do, inexpensive, yet they bring about noticeable changes that many people didn't expect. Part 3, detox the body from within. 3 small habits to keep the aging body naturally fresh. After thoroughly cleaning odor-prone skin areas, what many people overlook is the internal cause. Many elderly individuals complain that they bathe daily, wear clean clothes, even use perfume, yet their family members still tend to keep a distance. When I hear that, I often ask gently, do you drink enough water each day? Do you do light morning movement? Do you pay attention to the foods you eat daily? Because if the inside of your body isn't properly detoxed, then no matter how clean the outside is, the odor will quietly return in a very natural way. One of the simplest but most effective steps is drinking warm water in the morning. After age 60, the sensation of thirst is no longer as clear as before, while the body loses water more quickly. Insufficient hydration causes the skin to dry out, urine to darken, and toxins to accumulate under the skin, all of which contribute to the typical elderly body odor. A glass of warm water before breakfast, even before tea or coffee, will kickstart the elimination process and soften the skin from within. I once treated a grandmother in Madurai. Just a few weeks after maintaining this habit, her granddaughter surprisingly said, "Grandma smells like lemon peel." Next is light movement. No need for high-intensity exercise or long-distance walking. Just 15 to 20 minutes of walking around the house or in the yard in the morning is enough for the body to release a natural amount of sweat, helping the skin excrete, promoting circulation, and cleansing from deep within. I still remember the case of an elderly man in Jaipur. At first, he could only take a few steps, but after a week of persistence, he was able to walk continuously for 20 minutes without fatigue. The result was brighter skin, significantly reduced body odor, and most importantly, his grandchild happily slept beside him again just like in childhood. And lastly, but equally important, is how to bathe and soak properly. Many people mistakenly think that bathing in very hot water will cleanse deeply. But in reality, high temperatures dry the skin and damage its natural protective barrier, creating conditions for odor-causing bacteria to grow. Bathing with moderately warm water, combined with gentle unscented soap, followed by coconut oil or moisturizer, will help keep the skin soft and reduce odor. Additionally, soaking once a week in warm water mixed with mineral salt or a few drops of natural essential oils like neem is also an effective way to deep clean beneath the skin's surface, a place that quick showers often miss. With just 3 simple things, drinking warm water, light movement, and proper bathing, many elderly people have clearly felt the change. The body feels lighter, the skin more comfortable, and most importantly, the closeness from children and grandchildren gradually returns. However, another factor also plays a silent role in producing body odor, and that lies right on your daily plate. In the next part, I will guide you to identify foods that quietly cause odor, and how to adjust your diet to help your body always carry a pleasant scent from the inside out. If you're still watching at this point, I truly appreciate your patience. Please leave the number 3 below in the comments so I know you're still listening and accompanying me on this journey of gentle and effective elderly health care. Part 4: Elderly odor doesn't just come from the skin, it also starts from what you eat. I've often heard many older adults share with confusion. I still bathe regularly, my clothes are well ironed, I even use imported perfume from Lucknow, yet my grandchild doesn't like sitting next to me. In moments like that, I usually don't ask what kind of soap they use or which perfume they choose, but instead ask something that seems unrelated. What do you usually eat in your daily meals? Because not many people realize that after 60, body odor is not only the result of hygiene or hormonal changes, but also directly reflects what we put into our bodies. When the digestive system no longer functions as effectively as before, food can break down more slowly, producing odor-causing compounds. These compounds are not completely eliminated and can be excreted through sweat, oil glands, or even the breath. Change doesn't need to be drastic. You can start by prioritizing foods that help cleanse from the inside. Naturally colored fruits and vegetables like red, purple, orange, such as ripe tomatoes, purple cabbage, grapes, or red apples, contain high levels of antioxidants that neutralize free radicals and slow down cell oxidation, thereby limiting unusual body odor. I once guided Mr. Prakash in Pune to eat raw tomatoes and apples every morning. Just a few weeks later, he told me his granddaughter sat in his lap again, no longer avoiding him like before. Garlic is also a controversial food, as many fear it causes bad breath. But in reality, when used in the right amount, such as a small clove in the morning with warm water, garlic can help cleanse the intestines, inhibit odor-causing bacteria in the digestive tract, and even make breath more pleasant. If you can't eat raw garlic, you can easily replace it with a light vegetable smoothie. For example, cucumber, tomato, and a few slices of pear, to both detoxify the body and maintain a naturally pleasant scent. However, it would be a mistake to focus only on food and ignore the mouth. Many people think brushing thoroughly is enough, but they forget that most odor-causing bacteria accumulate on the surface of the tongue, a place regular toothbrushes don't usually reach. I once guided Ms. Lakshmi in Kolkata to use a tongue scraper every morning. At first she found it odd, but after a few days she voluntarily shared that her mouth felt lighter after each meal. Additionally, a natural way to keep your breath fresh is to chew a few slices of fresh ginger or a sugar-free candy with xylitol after meals. These stimulate saliva production, keep the mouth moist, and inhibit bacteria. On the other hand, if you often drink strong tea, dark coffee, or alcohol, you may be unintentionally dehydrating your body and drying out your mouth. And this is the ideal environment for odors to form from the inside out. And one thing that seems unrelated but is extremely important: chronic constipation. When waste is not eliminated regularly, toxic compounds can be reabsorbed into the blood and then excreted through the skin and breath. That's why fiber, even if it's just a bowl of brown rice porridge or some steamed vegetables in the morning, plays the role of a fragrance gatekeeper for the body. Ms. Mira, 77 years old, after applying this advice for just 2 weeks, exclaimed that both her stomach and the air around her felt noticeably more pleasant. We often think that to smell better, we must spray perfume or use expensive body washes. But in fact, what you eat each day quietly creates your body's scent gentle or unpleasant in ways we don't immediately notice. And sometimes, it's not your body that smells, but the clothes, bedding, or room you live in have retained traces of time you haven't refreshed yet. In the next part, I'll guide you on how to clean your living space so that the scent of old age is no longer something to worry about, but becomes something natural, pleasant, and closer to those you love. Part 5. Body odor doesn't only come from you, it also hides in the space you live in. I still remember the time I visited Mr. Ramprasad in Nagpur. His room was tidy, everything neatly arranged. But as I stepped in, I sensed a faint damp smell lingering in the air, a smell that wasn't strong but enough to create a stuffy feeling. The elderly man looked at me with some embarrassment and sighed. "It must be because I'm old, doctor. Old people just smell right." But I knew clearly that the smell wasn't simply due to age. In many cases, unpleasant smells around the elderly don't come from their bodies, but from the very familiar items that surround them every day. Clothes, blankets, bed sheets, towels, mattresses, shoes, all of these can accumulate sweat, skin oils, dead skin cells, and dust over time. These substances slowly soak into every fiber, every layer of fabric, quietly creating a persistent base odor. No matter how clean an elderly person keeps their body, if they don't refresh the items they touch daily, the smell will still linger. I've spoken with many older people who have the habit of re-wearing pajamas or undershirts because they still look clean. But these items directly touch the body for many hours, absorbing breath, sweat, and oils we can't see. Just changing into fresh clothes daily and choosing light, breathable cotton fabric helps the body breathe better, and a sense of relief comes very naturally. Similarly, many people only wash their bedding when they see visible stains. But the truth is, smell doesn't need to be obvious. Just a little moisture or dust is enough to creep into the fabric. If possible, wash your bed linens weekly and dry them in the sun, especially morning sunlight, when UV rays are gentle yet strong enough to kill bacteria without damaging fabric. I once advised an elderly woman in Pune to do this, and after a few weeks, she called back saying her grandchild no longer hesitated to sit and play on the bed with her. As for mattresses and pillows, items that are not easy to replace, just airing them in the sun once a month can significantly reduce odor. Shoes too, alternate between two pairs, sprinkle a little baking soda in them each night, and always wash your socks after each wear. These small habits make a difference that even the person themselves may not immediately notice. Lastly, and this is something few people notice, is the air inside the room. Many elderly people are used to keeping windows closed to avoid dust or cold wind. But when air isn't circulated, the room becomes a perfect place for odor molecules to gather, settling into curtains, upholstery, clothes, even the walls and floors. Just opening the window for a few minutes every morning and before bedtime, like how grandmothers used to do when boiling tea, is enough to let fresh air sweep away the heavy atmosphere in the room. So if you've ever thought that elderly smell is unavoidable, try taking another look at your surroundings. Because your living environment might quietly reflect the things you haven't yet had the chance to refresh. And as promised at the beginning of the video, right after this I will share the secret to helping your body naturally emit a gentle, pleasant fragrance. Part 6. A naturally pleasant body scent, no perfume needed, just touch the right moment. Before we move into the final part, where emotions and connection become the most powerful healing forces, I want to keep the promise I made at the beginning of the video, to share with you a small secret that has made a clear difference for hundreds of elderly people I've accompanied. Every early morning, when the body is still in its deepest state of relaxation after sleep, you should start your day with a glass of warm water. But not just plain water. Drop in a lightly crushed slice of fresh ginger, add a bit of lemon juice, and if your health allows, a small spoonful of honey. If you enjoy a refreshing sensation, you can add a mint leaf or a drop of natural lemongrass essential oil, the type safe for consumption. This drink isn't expensive, doesn't require fancy preparation, but brings surprising effects. Ginger warms the body and gently supports antibacterial function. Lemon helps cleanse the digestive system. Honey keeps the throat moist. And most importantly, the subtle fragrance of lemongrass and mint quietly spreads, seeps into every breath, every pore, creating a naturally cool, gentle scent that's incredibly pleasant for those around you. I still remember Indira in Madurai, the one you heard about in the previous part, once called me just to share a small story. "Doctor, today my grandchild hugged me and said grandma smells like lime leaves." That may sound like a child's comment, but I knew it made her emotional the entire day. Because it wasn't just a compliment, It was a signal that the distance was slowly closing through the very changes from her own heart. You don't need perfume, nor expensive products. You just need to choose the right moment and understand what your body needs, and your body will naturally radiate the most pleasant scent. When your breath is light, your skin is clean, and the air around you no longer holds old traces. What remains, what matters more than anything else, is emotion. Because no matter how fresh your body smells, if your heart still carries shame, if your loved one's eyes still don't dare to look straight at each other, then change can hardly be complete. But there is one thing more powerful than any breeze through an open window, and that is emotion. The space may be clean, the body may smell pleasant, but if inside you still hold onto shame, distance, or pain, then even fragrance struggles to reach the hearts of those you love. Part 7. Elderly odor is not shameful. It's a signal that the body needs to be loved properly. I've shared with many elderly men and women a truth that few dare to say out loud. The smell of aging is not your fault. It doesn't mean you're unhygienic or careless, nor does it imply that you're drifting apart from the world. It's simply a biological signal, a gentle reminder that your body, after years of enduring, now needs to be cared for in a new, softer, and more understanding way. Like the sound of temple bells in the early morning, not loud, not noisy, but strong enough to awaken what's been sleeping, that scent should not make you feel ashamed, but instead be seen as a quiet rhythm calling you back to yourself. Your body is saying, I need to be loved not just with soap or shampoo, but with patience, acceptance, and the belief that I'm still worthy of affectionate hugs. I still remember the elderly man in Ujjain, who every morning carefully brewed tea, cleaned the altar, and draped a neatly folded white scarf over his shoulder. But then he sadly shared that his grandson no longer sat close like before. He still bathed daily, still changed into clean clothes, but when I suggested a few small changes, opening his room for 10 minutes early each morning, drying his scarf in sunlight, drinking warm water, and scraping his tongue every day, less than 2 weeks later he called again, his voice soft yet full of emotion. My grandson is sitting on my lap again, doctor, and he doesn't cover his nose anymore. I share that story not to boast or seek praise, but to remind you that closeness doesn't come from grand gestures, not from gifts or fancy words, but from small, quiet acts repeated daily. A nod to yourself in the mirror, a glass of warm water on time, a gentle touch before sleep are ways you tell yourself, I still want to be loved and I will begin with myself. The natural scent of an aging body is not something unchangeable or a fate. It can become gentle, familiar, and pleasant, no perfume needed, no expensive product, just understanding and patience. I've witnessed hundreds of such cases, and I believe you can be one of them too. You see, elderly scent is not the reason love fades, nor is it the end of tender hugs from children and grandchildren. It's simply the body's way of saying, I need to be noticed gently, consistently, and without rush. From cleansing skin areas prone to nonenal buildup, drinking warm water every morning, catching early sun through the window, choosing foods that calm the body, changing bed linens frequently. Every small act contributes to a big change. Not only does it make your body more comfortable, but it also narrows the distance within your very own home. And remember, you don't have to change everything at once. Just start with one thing, consistently and gently, and that's enough to make a difference. Because the greatest things always begin with small actions done right and repeated daily. If what I shared today brings value to you, and you'd like to continue receiving these gentle, easy to understand, and relatable tips in upcoming videos, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell right now. That's how we won't lose each other, and it's also the biggest motivation for me to keep sharing heartfelt messages with you on this journey of elderly health care. Thank you for patiently listening until the very last minute. Wishing you good health, peace, and the warmth of closeness in your own home. See you again in the next video.